We are now joined by winner of today's The Loop 110 here at the Chicago Street Course, driver of the number 97 Colleague Racing Chevrolet, Shane van Gisbergen. Shane, this is now your second win here in Chicago. Why don't you take us through your, those initial thoughts and how you're feeling?
Yeah, evening everyone. That was a pretty awesome race. The first stage racing with Kyle there. My car was really weak. I couldn't get going at the restarts, and then it would take 2 or 3 laps, and he'd always pass me. Then when my car would come on, I'd be attacking him, and yeah, it was just awesome fun racing with him. His car was a little better over the bumps and under braking, and he was driving very well as well. But yeah, I'd give him the thumbs up. He was waving back, and yeah, had a blast. And then in stage 2, when the yellow come out, we kind of had to pit, otherwise we'd go too far back. And I thought again we were buried a bit too deep, kind of like last year. And yeah, and then it was a bit frustrating, all the yellows coming out, but managed to make spots every restart and keep moving forward. And I had some awesome battles coming through, and pretty special to get the WeatherTech Camaro in victory lane, and it's the home of WeatherTech as well. So yeah, to represent them here, it's pretty cool.
All right, we'll open it up to questions. We will start right over there and then go up to Jerry Jordan.
No opposer, Northwestern. Shane, you started that middle stint behind Kyle after the pit stop, but obviously you were able to get by him in traffic. What did you or the car have, if anything, that he lacked compared to you over the course of that run?
Yeah, we made an adjustment, I guess, with the tire pressures. I haven't spoken yet, just to bring them on a bit quicker, and knowing that there probably wasn't going to be long runs. And yeah, straight away from first lap of restarts, I was good to go from there on. And yeah, got him at the restart, and then every time I'd make a pass, I'd be happy I made a gap, and he'd get the guy the next corner. So yeah, but I got lucky and made a few good decisions, and yeah, made good spots every time.
We'll go to Jerry and then Bob.
Jerry Jordan, kickingthetires.net. Kyle was in here a while ago, and he said, it's fun to race you, but he said you make it look easy because you get around everybody, you never touch anyone. Is it easy to you? I mean, is this just, or you just haven't?
Yeah, but as I say all the time, it's the opposite on the ovals, So he's been the class today as well, pace-wise, and especially in the Cup car, they're much better than last year. Through a few sectors where I was good last year, people were really close. But yeah, I had a blast racing with him. We went side by side through places I never thought you'd get. 2 big American V8s, but it was pretty cool, yeah.
We'll go to Bob, Zach, and then Holly.
Bob Pockris, Fox Sports. Restart with 3 to go. Is there any doubt in your mind that you're going to be able to pass those guys? I mean, they're blocking. Yep. They're more mirror driving than anything.
Yeah, it was tough. You could see Jesse was really trying to hold on, but into 7, I just, it's tough into 7, especially on the right-hand side of him, and in a corner with no spotters. I knew if I could get into his blind spot far enough, he'd concede or crash. So it worked out pretty good. But he was driving really well, putting the car in all the right spots. But yeah, I just wanted to get to the front.
Zach Sterniolo from NASCAR.com. Shane, going back to the stuff with Kyle, to have two guys really at the top of your games, especially on a place like this, going side by side, like you said, where you just didn't think you'd be able to. How fun is that as a race car driver when you do have 2 elite talents that you can trust the guy in the other car as well?
Yeah, and I'm a bit hesitant still because any other series in the world, the inside car just runs you into the fence and squeezes you out, whereas here with the spotters and the respect, everyone, if a car's beside you, you got to give them room. So even myself, I am still trying to, discipline myself to give room to everyone and not squeeze them, because that's how it is here. And I think it's awesome. It creates good racing and, promotes side-by-side racing, the respect everyone has. So yeah, it was really fun. And through 4, I think, he was really strong under brakes, and he come out of nowhere and he was in my blind spot. Couldn't see him, and I just hung around the outside and he gave me room, and yeah, it was pretty cool.
And then that last run, chasing down the 2 and the 19, if the 19 had cleared the 2 faster than he did, do you still think you would have had enough to get by both of them?
Oh, who knows? You don't know that stuff. But obviously we were a little quicker than him in stage 1, but I don't know if he was saving brakes or whatever at that stage. So yeah, thankfully we never had to find out.
Let's go to Holly, and then Davey, and then Steven.
Hi, Shane. Holly Kane with the NASCAR Wire Service. Is this the kind of racing you we're used to racing supercars? I mean, is that part of it too, or have you seen this kind of become more like that on the road course?
Yeah, no, we have the odd good race down there as well. You know, it's it was good racing on the streets. It was always tough down there as well. The guys on the street courses are amazing down there too. So, but yeah, as I said, the discipline and the respect here is quite different, and you can't really just bump someone out of the way because they'll just get you back, even though technically you're allowed to do it here. It's I think it works quite well. Yeah.
Hey Shane, Davey Siegel with Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. On one of the final restarts, you made a little bit of contact with the left rear coming off the final corner down towards the front stretch.
Yeah, right front.
Front. Did that bother your car at all?
Yeah.
Or did that affect things?
Yeah, I just turned in there. It's so hard here when even still for me with the car on the other side to be millimeter perfect or inch perfect, whatever you say here, to the wall. So I just clipped it with the tire. So luckily it didn't get the suspension or the car, but it ripped the wheel out of my hands and put me straight. And then the steering was a little bit off, but thankfully a caution came out straight away and I was able to feel and trust my car again before we went green. So, but yeah, driver error there.
Speaking of the discipline that you've spoken about so far today, I mean, we've seen that you're not afraid to do what needs to be done, so to speak. We saw it at Sonoma with Austin Hill. I mean, when you were carving through the field and the laps were winding down and the cautions kept coming out, was there any thought in your mind of using the bumper, or were you confident that you'd be able to do it your way?
Thankfully, I didn't need to, But you don't really want to do that anyway unless you're provoked. So, I want to race fairly with everyone and get the respect from everyone too.
Let's go to Steven.
Steven Sump, frontrush.com. Shane, when Kyle was in here earlier, obviously he said he wanted to win, but he said more than anything he just wanted to learn and he wanted to battle with you as much as he could just because of how good and how skilled you are at these tracks. So as a driver, what does it mean to hear that high of a praise from one of your competitors and one who's one of the best in Cup and a great road racer in his own right?
Yeah, but I was learning off him too. Some of his techniques and lines and car placement was very, very different to mine, and I adapted a bit to him, especially turn 6, how he would brake and turn. Was amazing how he got the car to rotate, and I thought, my car doesn't have enough front grip. And then when I adapted to what he was doing, my car was fixed. So I learned a lot as well. So yeah, when you're racing around guys like that, you're constantly sort of feeding each other, and the amount we were swapping back and forth, we probably elevated each other a bit for tomorrow. Yeah.
Right over here, Shane. Andrew Curlin, Dirty Mo Media. I think sometime during the race, Larson said over the radio about you, he's just toying with me. He's so much faster than I am. Were you toying with him in that situation? It seemed like you guys were learning off each other.
Of course not. I'd want to be out front the whole time. But as I said at the start, first laps, I couldn't get going. The brakes I couldn't get in and the front tires. And then after one lap, the grip would be equal and then my car would be good. And I'd see him start to slide around. So yeah, every restart I was just weak and probably a bit overcautious as well. But our cars were very different the way they drove.
There's obviously like a lot of eyes on you this weekend after what happened last year. Is this a little bit of a pressure, weight off your shoulders winning today?
I felt pretty good all week, to be honest. I didn't know how I feel. Obviously, everyone's had expectations, but yeah, I think I've just been good, treating it like every other week. And as I said yesterday when I was in here, I'm more focused on the ovals at the moment, and these things are kind of a holiday or a fun weekend. So I still studied hard for this and wanted to be good at it. But yeah, got out and just did my thing. And there was a lot of media yesterday, but today the team's been really good with just focus on the driving. But I guess we haven't had time to do anything else anyway. It's just suit to suit, car to car. It's been pretty cool.
All right, we're going to go to Dustin, Bob, and then over there in the back.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. Shane, Kyle talked about, he said you're just really good at creating shapes and angles passing. And I don't know if I've heard another driver describe passing in that sense. One, when you hear that, does that make sense? Because it seems like an unusual terminology.
Yeah, I'm still getting used to that. Yeah, that's kind of how the WISE program kind of works, which I'm in, and I'm still learning that. So it's probably a question I need answering too.
And also, can you kind of just take me through how you made the move on Jesse and 7? That doesn't. You've made moves there before. I know, like last year's Cup race, you were making the move on Haley there. That's not a place I think most people make a move, and it seemed like from 6 being on the outside, it kind of set you up. And can you talk me through that?
Yeah, as I think I said that before, but as I come out of there, I kind of went to his left and then hard to his right, and you just got to get in the blind spot there, and because there's no spotters in that corner. I think that's what helps me at turn 2 last year as well. There's no spotters there, and I got done today as well, just because you can't see on that side of the car, and you don't want to turn in on anyone and spin yourself out. So, yeah, I just went for the gap, and I could see him hesitating, is he there, is he not, and then eventually he just conceded. So, and at that point I wasn't really there, so thank you, and away I went.
Let's go to Bob.
Bob Pockers, Fox Sports. I have 2 more. The first, do you race any differently tomorrow because you're not a full-time guy in that series? You know, sometimes, I don't know whether anybody's ever talked to you about whether there should be any different etiquette or not.
Yeah, I think I should have the same mindset as last year, right? I want to come in and do well for myself. You know, I still have to get results and do well to get myself in a Cup seat next year, right? So I want to come in and do the best I can, but I also, you know, am respectful that it's almost crunch time for everyone. You know, there's a lot of people close to the cut line trying to get wins to get in. So I'm going to race everyone with respect and not do anything stupid, but I'm also going to try win the race for my team. You know, there's been so many people work hard on this car. I'm not going to lay over for anyone, but I want to, you know, I don't want to get involved in any shit tomorrow because everyone's got, you know, their championship to worry about. So.
And did you see, were there any issues with the course at all, or is it, do you have any recommendations if there are any for any changes for tomorrow?
No, it's been really good, you know, and this year, last year was a worry. All the walls were really sticking out of corners, and so if you rubbed along the wall, it would catch your wheel and stuff like that. This year, the barriers were lined up perfectly. And then we did the track walk this morning, and turn 8, I think it is, the kink right. The walls had the Xfinity signage, and then on the kink around the corner, there was no signage, and it was concrete and super hard to see in the shadows. So there's 3 or 4 of us on the track walk said that, and we made a suggestion, and straight away they fixed it. You know, you need good reference points, and you know it's good here. They listen to the drivers and react. And I think with a perfectly dry track today, you could see there was so many passes everywhere, and yeah, this is a really good street track for racing. Yeah.
Let's go back there.
Shane, Samuel Stubbs, yardbarker.com. You know, I talked to you yesterday and asked you if you thought you'd have a full-time career here last year, and you said you hadn't really thought about it. Fast forward a year later, you just won your 3rd race of the season. You lead the Xfinity Series not just in wins, but in the playoff standings. You can get more playoff points with wins and stage points and regular season standing. Have you given any thought at all? You know, I know there's still 8 regular season races left for you guys, but have you given any thought about approaching the playoffs and the fact that you have a legit chance to win a championship this year?
Yeah, it's something we didn't think we'd be talking about, you know, playoff points and stuff. And it was a cool conversation with Bruce, my crew chief, this morning, whether we stay out in stage 1 or 2 and get stage points. So it's a cool conversation to be having, and probably not one we thought we'd be having. So yeah, 3 wins and a few stage wins. We're in a pretty nice position now. So yeah, we can, again, as I said, keep evolving on the ovals. We can take some risks and try to learn some things, and it's been really cool getting better and getting these results and a few nice stickers on the side of the car too.
Let's go up here to the left.
Cole Cusimano, Arizona Republic. Congrats, Shane. A lot of the talk pretty much all weekend has been about you and Kyle, but Ty obviously finished runner-up. He's starting second tomorrow. He looked really good in practice as well for the Cup Series. Just how was it racing him today, and how do you feel he'll be tomorrow in regards to challenging you and such?
Yeah, we've had a few good races now, Xfinity at Coda and in the Cup Series as well, and he races really good, and you know, you can tell when you're racing around them how aware they are, how sharp, and yeah, he puts the car in good spots, and he's always fast as well. So yeah, I'm sure him and Kyle, they'll probably be the quickest guys tomorrow. And you know, I think at one stage in practice overall, I think the top 5 or 4 guys were all people doing Xfinity Series. So it's been really handy doing both for everyone.
Let's go right up here on the right.
Going back to the playoff points, do you feel these points are extra important for you with the amount of ovals in the playoffs? And how likely are we to see more strategy calls perhaps for stage wins down the stretch to bag some more of those points?
Oh, now you're talking above my pay grade. I don't really know, but I just do what they tell me. But yeah, as I said, it's cool to be thinking and talking about that stuff. And I think we got another road course to go before the playoffs happen, and then there's a road course in the playoffs. So, but I want to be someone who's getting results on ovals too and getting through on merit. So there's some strong tracks. Martinsville, I was in the top 10, running reasonably well this year until the green-white checker madness. So yeah, I think those kind of tracks, and Phoenix I've been to before and did pretty well there. So as long as we keep improving, anything can happen.
Do we have any final questions? Okay, we'll go right back there and then up to Lee.
Excuse me. Tim Healy, Truth About Cars. You mentioned earlier that NASCAR is pretty good at responding to things that drivers say they should change. Is there anything for tomorrow that you think should be changed?
No, I think it's pretty good, and the weather sounds like it'll be good. So, yeah, I think it's cool seeing how much more buzz there is. It feels like to me around, there's not the anticipation of the first race, but feels like we're welcome here and everyone's in support of the street race. It feels like a really cool atmosphere when we walk to the hotel, to the track. It's a pretty cool feeling. So yeah, I don't think anything needs to change tomorrow. Hopefully it's another good race.
Lee Spencer, Series 6 of NASCAR Radio and CatchFence.com. How do you feel your car is for tomorrow? I mean, how it stacks up to the competition.
I think it's pretty good, better than me. I didn't do a good enough job. I was too conservative in the second part of qualifying, and then we misjudged the timing. We went for a push lap. We were going to do a cool off and then a push again, and we just ran out of time. So, but yeah, I could have got more out of it myself. So the potential is there, but these races are ridiculous. Always something happens. So yeah, we got to just try and stay up front, move front, and hopefully we'll be there at the end.
And as far as the ovals, where do you feel like you've made the most gains? I mean, just as far as the routine goes, or
where do you start? It's so different. Just I learned a lot on the concrete tracks, especially everything I've ever raced. You want to be on the rubber. Even this weekend the rubber has been good on the track, but on an oval it's the opposite. It seems like you're kind of learning and watching the rubber where it moves and adapting your line, and then the yellow comes out and then all the rubber disappears. It's ridiculous. I've never seen anything like it. But on a concrete track, it's very graphic. So I learned a lot last weekend placing my car, and that's the most competitive I've felt on an oval. Like, I'm never going to celebrate a 15th, but I was racing around really good guys and having good battles. So yeah, I think it's just steady progress, and I feel like I'm driving within myself still. So yeah, it's good.
All right, we're going to take one final question from Zach.
Shane, going back to Kyle Larson, I'm curious your perspective, because here he's really hyped up as, kind of a modern day Mario Andretti type in really elite company. What is it that you see from him on the racetrack? Do you get that same sense that he is that elite of a talent in motorsports?
Yeah, like I raced him obviously last year here, and pretty similar scenario where we were up front, got buried and had to come through. So pretty identical race in some ways, but yeah, just sharp. Everything he's calculated, fast, taking risk on those restarts, forcing it 3 wide, but doing it in a calculated way that gives the guys on the outside no option but to concede. So yeah, he places the car in good spots, and yeah, everywhere he goes, he's fast. That's a pretty cool thing to try and aspire to match.